begin here in a nice little squat position to roll out our wrists clockwise and then counterclockwise, working at your own pace. All these stretches will help you prepare your wrists for crow pose. Now coming down to a cat and cow position, your wrists placed underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. We're going to be tilting side to side, getting a nice little wrist stretch. Take your time here. Feel the stretch. Maybe lift the palms off the floor about a half an inch or an inch. Again, be very careful not to over stretch. And then you can go counterclockwise or clockwise. Here again at your own pace. Now turn your right palm face up. Place it on the floor and pour some weight on the wrist. You can place your left hand on top of your right hand to keep it in place and begin to twist the eye of the elbow. Now we will repeat the same exercise on the left hand. Now we will point our fingers outwards and match up the wrists next to each other, and we will begin to tilt side to side, again at your own pace. Maybe begin to add circles counterclockwise and clockwise. Now coming to a cat and cow stretch with our fingers pointing back. So our thumbs are facing outwards here. We're going to inhale, look up towards the sky, arch your back, and then exhale, look down and round your back. You can begin to shift your weight forward and back and slightly lift your palms off the floor. Take your time here, feel the stretch out, and breathe. And now we are ready to begin to practice crow pose. Plant your hands down about the width of your shoulders. Spread the fingers here. Make sure you push into the L's of your hands and the toes are together here. Begin to tiptoe, lifting your knees up high. Slightly bend the elbows using your triceps as shells for your knees. You can begin to lift one foot off the floor and then the other, and eventually lifting both feet off the floor. This is one of the most accessible arm balances for beginner yogis. Don't be discouraged if you do not get it the first time. With practice, you will eventually begin to get both feet off the floor. Remember, practice makes perfect. Again, this is crow pose, but from a different angle. Once you're able to get into crow pose, make sure to take your gaze forward, count your breaths, and try to sustain this pose for 5 breaths. Keep your gaze looking forward and lengthening the spine. After practicing crow pose, it is a good idea to repeat your wrist stretches. Namaste.